I want to ask you if you had any changes through these times and
Yeah,
what, yeah.
lots. Lots of changes. This time has been very interesting in a sense that I've been doing a lot of research, as I think you have as well, because I do not believe just about anything that is on TV or social media. And so I've been doing my own research and learning a lot about what is going on from another perspective. And that is the perspective of how humanity has been manipulated. And it is quite, well, would like to say quite scary, but when you understand what has been done, and you know how to deal with it internally, then it's not so scary. And I would imagine it's not a pretty sight, and we have been not only manipulated, but in a small way, in little things. We all know that, well, the virus, is it real? Is it not real? Is this real or is that real? There's so much confusion right now and so many different opinions, and people are violently opposing anyone who doesn't feel like they don't believe what they do. So they've created this mess for us, but it goes so much deeper. What I've learned is that it's in every field. In our education, we've been educated so incorrectly. I'm questioning now everything that they taught me in school. And most dangerously, they've inverted and manipulated completely the entire medical field. Doctors have been taught incorrectly. And I know this because, well, I never trusted doctors for my own because of my own experiences. But lately I've been listening to doctors, scientists who have spent 30, 40, and 50 years. They have degree upon degree. I can mention a few names. They're just phenomenal doctors who are exposing what is really going on. And we see on TV and not TV, yeah, TV. They're pushing, what they're pushing is a needle or this or that or the other, but there's no one mentioning it, and not even doctors, regular mainstream doctors. They don't mention vitamin D or anything about the immune system. The body has been completely set aside, neglected, like a piece of garbage. And what's God is now the pharmaceuticals. What's God is now the doctors. And we've been entrained and programmed from childhood to listen to authority. So we're stuck there. If the doctor says something, that's it. If they said it on the news, that's it. We've been trained, and our critical thinking has been wiped out. I would say most people that I know do not have critical thinking anymore. They do not think for themselves. They do not rely on their own experience. It's what somebody else says. But even more importantly than that, what I discovered through that, because I always like to relate, everything in life is connected for me. There's no separation. So what has been revealed to me even more so, not that I didn't know it before, but it's the depth of how vast this manipulation has been for me in the spiritual arena. And I believe that's why you and I have been finding it's so difficult to see. I mean, I can't tell you how many teachers that people that I've interviewed have unfriended me or wrote me nasty comments on Facebook. And I get it now. What's been happening is just like in the medical arena, the body has been neglected, has been discredited, and the opinions and consensus of intellectual manipulators and money-hungry people, I don't want to call them by the name that we call them, but just as that has been done in the medical field, the same thing has been done in spirituality. The mind took over. The human mind has been taken over by the reptilian mind, by the reactive mind. And it's been so manipulated that it took over spirituality. And that I'm including the Indian gurus. I've been to India. I've studied with Indian gurus. I've studied with Canadian teachers. I've studied with American teachers. I've interviewed so many people. I've been on a path for 40 fucking years. Pardon my French. So I'm not trying to brag that I know it all. That's how stupid I was. That's how long it took me to realize, start going by your own experience and fuck everything else. You know, but the whole spiritual arena, the whole spirituality has been built on the wrong concept, on the wrong premise, on the wrong context. It's been created by the mind that is pretending to transcend itself. And all the teachings are doing that. Almost everyone that I've interviewed is on the same thing. Come to sit in front of me and you will get it. I will give it to you. Do this and this will happen. Work on your emotions, work on this, work on that. A whole shitload of things to do for the mind to be busy doing and then expecting a reward for its doing, so that sometimes in the future it will find something. What is that something? Why didn't I ask after so many years, well, where the fuck is it? You know, I've done everything that I could possibly do and nada. You know, one teacher dies and another one and I'm left hanging. Why? Because again, it's the same thing as what happened with medicine. They've neglected the body. I have in front of me a quote by an incredible, supposedly the authority in spirituality. I won't mention names right now, but maybe later. But anyone who's on the spiritual path, not only heard the name, but some of them claim to be on his lineage. But he says, the experience of deep sleep clearly teaches that happiness consists in being without the body. How? Why the fuck do we have a body? The body is everything. In the body, we didn't create our body. We had a fuck and a body came out, but we didn't create a body. You know, with the body there's millions of pieces of information running through the body every minute to create this thing that how the blood flows and this happens and the lungs and the heart for years. I mean, you and I aren't spring chickens and the body is still running, and no matter what we've done, it heals itself, it fixes itself.
I'm amazed by my body.
It makes itself sleep, it wakes itself up, it does everything with or without our mind that we're so proud of. How is that possible? And so the body is completely neglected and not considered at all as the means for enlightenment, for awakening. And it wasn't until I met Gabor that I learned that from him and how to access it, that I realized, holy shit, I've been fooling myself all these years, thinking that I can use my mind to transcend it. You know, it's impossible. You know, just the other day, he was with Gabor was with one of his students, And he asked her, you know, what do you think is wiser? Your mind, the pea brain mind that can only see what it sees in front of it, or the body that has the intelligence of the universe? Which do you think is smarter? And the person kept saying, oh, well, this teacher says that and that teacher. No, 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 stop it. Not what they say. What do you say? We don't know anymore. An authority says that the body is nothing, that I'm not the body, I'm not the body, forget the body. And then we go by that instead of our own experience of going into the body and feeling the body from inside and see what happens. So this whole year or two or whatever it's been, the 2 weeks that we've had, I'm grateful because I always knew the falsity of it. Not always, but since I've been with Gabor, I knew the falsity, but the depth of it, I see so much more right now because of all the parallels. It's the same with education. It's the same with medicine. It's the same in everything. The mind has taken over.
You beautifully expressed in a way that I don't know what to add. So what I want to ask you, what Gabor suggests his students who lost this ability to feel? Let's meet another time and talk about this kind of things. And because I did saw a few videos of Gabor, and I felt I saw that he is very different from everybody else.
Yeah.
He reminds me of mystic. Something mystical about him, and at the same time something very, very real and human. And the combination of it is very interesting because it's like he's like no one else.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
I would love to know his methods that he found, probably from his own experience, because that's how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do another one and we'll get into that.